The way consumers engage with their bank is changing fast. There is also increased competition from a range of different emerging financial organisations. Navigating these challenges requires expert advice. So Deloitte has looked at what banks can do to stay relevant in this changing landscape. Joanna Simpson has the story.
Developments in the internet and new technology have long been hailed as the death knell for bank branches. Though it's a fact our banking habits have been changing, Deloitte says banks who adapt on several fronts are able to survive. Its research on the use of branch and digital banking found that there are 180 bank and building society branches per million people in England and Wales. In 44% of locations, telephone and online channels are more likely to be in demand. But 72% of consumers said they still go to the high street to access banking and financial services. So what are the implications if banks don't adapt?
Well, basically banks have to adapt. They've got two strategic options. One is that they simplify their operations and they radically strip out costs. The other option is that they try to play tech companies at their own game. They develop their customer experience and they try to use the data that they have, the phenomenal amount of data that they have. Of course, the other thing to remember is that banks are not making their cost of equity right now. They must get the return on equity up at least to their cost of equity. Otherwise, investors will simply see them as being uninvestable.
Nationwide is one of those looking to adapt their services in new ways to appeal to customers. Nationwide Now is an innovative service, allowing a member to go into branch and receive specialist mortgage advice from their team based in Northampton. The use of video chat maintains a direct relationship with one individual. Any forms that need to be signed are scanned in, and instant messaging means the advisor can even get the customer a particular tea or coffee by alerting a colleague in branch. The Building Society says this service has so far received a 100% satisfaction rating.
It's a service our members have fallen in love with. I can't express strongly enough that it really has started to prove to be a magic ingredient in the source of our strategy moving forward. Because what members are saying is, this really is on my terms, I really am getting expert advice, and it's expert advice I can reach when I need to do so for the things that matter to me most.
Nationwide has introduced new technology to respond to changing customer habits. Research by Deloitte has found that banks need to continue to develop to meet our needs for convenience, service and value. And it seems that we're all taking full advantage of the new ways to bank.
It's easy to do electronic transfers and to avoid the bank.
So you don't go into branch anymore?
No, I haven't been to my branch in years.
It's convenient for me, rather than going into the bank, and you can do it all hours, doesn't matter when.
I just want someone to be there to talk to when I need to talk to them, for otherwise efficient service online.
Just easier. Simple. Can you use my mobile phone as well as the internet?
But there's a danger banks can go too far.
Some banks have launched a myriad of digital channels. Each one in its own right has been quite interesting. But perhaps they lose sight of the fact that the customer has a relationship with the institution and not with one channel. From our research, we also know that people who use multiple channels, and indeed if you're a mobile banking user and you have a branch relationship, you are significantly more loyal and more likely to recommend the bank than if you're in one channel only. So there's certainly a place for digital, but banks have to be wary of proliferating in that space and not joining it up for the customer.
Though some branches may be closing, there is still a need. Deloitte says the demographic seems to be shifting, with more older people progressing to online services, but younger people liking the security and advice offered in branch. It says diversifying is the key to keeping up with both technology and customers.